Let me get John. Then I
One
get
thing I was
Gail.
going to say, and this kind of piles on to a couple of the things we've been talking about, is the whole messaging idea that Democrats just are not good at keeping a consistent message. And I don't mean something that's like carved in stone, you don't budge. Although we've seen lately, I think with the way things are going, Democrats in Washington have gotten to a point where I think maybe they should be like, okay, the Comey firing. Okay, don't agree to move forward on anything else for a while. Okay, you do have to stand for some principle at some point. And I think we're starting to see that, and I think with the get-togethers, rallies, and all the things that are going on, they're definitely more empowered on that. But the messaging is a problem, and they've allowed Republicans to control the message for years.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at Obamacare, for example, Obamacare, right? That was supposed to be a negative thing, right? And it's
Right, because
it's not.
Obama's bad, so this is bad.
But
Right.
I watched the media go with it, and they would run with every single criticism of the right and never explain. And this is partly journalism, but it's partly someone's got to be getting the message to the media in general to better explain what the heck is going on with. What does this mean?
And I'll
They
say,
let them run with death panels for 4 years,
yeah, and
and it was ridiculous.
you're right. I will say this: the Obama administration. I have criticism of the Obama administration. I liked Obama. I voted for him twice, but I also hold his feet to the fire on a few things. And then one of the things I hold his feet to the fire on, or at least his administration, is the messaging and the rollout of the ACA. They didn't really explain it very well.
Yeah.
And Nancy Pelosi didn't explain herself very well. She kind of had a foot and mouth disease when it came to the ACA sometimes, especially that we gotta vote on the bill to find out what's in the bill. If you actually get the whole quote, she's actually taken out of context there.
Right.
She's not saying what they say she said. But regardless, it's enough of a soundbite where she could be demonized. And the Obama administration never got out in front of it like they probably should have. And they created this omnibus thing so that they could have this thing where they wheeled in this huge bill. Oh my gosh, I can't even carry it, so I gotta wheel it in. Look how big it is. So therefore it must be horrible because it's just full of just communist stuff,
Right.
filled to the gill.
Right.
And they really, if they really wanted to get that done, they should have done it in a more piecemeal way. I know some people say you never would have gotten it done. You would have got some of it done.
Yeah.
But the way they did it, they opened it up to a ton of criticism. So,
When you have somebody saying before your inauguration, our number one goal is to get you out of the White House.
yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
were already.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I believe-
He didn't have any friends
And
on
some
the
of
other
that
side.
is true until you tell me that if that is true, the messaging is wrong. How is Trump? His message is nuts. Yeah. and you're
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
It's mainly that's
That's right.
Yeah,
The media turned this whole election into a combination of ESPN and Entertainment Tonight.
well, we had a
There really
reality
was no
star.
analysis going on.
Right, we had a reality star as one of the candidates, and quite frankly, he was a hit with ratings because you never knew what was going to come out of his mouth.
Right.
But by the end, I really believe that people were kind of just over it. They were. That's kind of one of the reasons why this was one of the lowest presidential participation elections in 20 years, something more. It was a lot, and people were just over it. They were sick of it. The media had blasted it in such a way and framed everything in such a way that otherwise my son, everybody. In such a way that people were just sick and tired of it. It was a pox on both their houses was a huge thing. And people were like, the two candidates are exactly alike. Little history on me. I was a Bernie Sanders supporter early on. I wasn't really woo, but I did vote for him in the primary. But then when it got close and I realized he wasn't going to cross the finish line, I switched over to Clinton and became a Clinton delegate to the national convention because at the end of the day, she was miles better than anybody they had on the other side, in my opinion, in terms of the things that she was fighting for. So I think that we need
young
to.
people.
What's that?
We need to get young people.
Yeah.
And we need to get minorities,
Yeah.
and we need to get, the Democrats need to quit assuming, and I will tell you, I live in a very conservative area, and most of those young people are not their parents conservative, okay?
Yeah, they
So
rarely
we
are.
have a chance to get these people, and we really need to reach out to them.
Well, the other thing that we're not talking about here is that if there's something really wrong, and I'm not proposing we can fix that tonight, when the candidate wins by 3 million votes and is not inaugurated, like that, we actually won. I mean, by any rational standards.
Way beyond our fixing part.
Yeah, that I'll tell you,
But it's-
I don't like the electoral college. I've heard its defenders. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's an antiquated system, but you know, you agree to the rules. You play to the rules you agree with when you start. So when you start the election, you can't come back and say, "Oh, I didn't like those rules." So, but I agree, it's a very antiquated system. And these lines are drawn for these congressional districts in such a way as to keep people in power. I think it's a 93 to 98%, something like that, recidivism rate for Congress people for re-election. I use prison term because, you know, some of these people, maybe that's where they belong, I don't know.
Maybe we should have term limits then.
You know, I can get on board with term limits.
Because Parliament seems to run a whole lot better than our Congress does, and they have term limits, and it seems to be that they can get stuff done because of that.
I could actually get on board with some term limits. The issue that you find is that you sometimes have a loss of institutional knowledge. So, right, there's a huge learning curve. So there's a plus and a minus to that.
I would
But
like to get rid of the gerrymandering.
Yeah.
That is the thing, I can see us doing this, that is a doable thing, we need,
push. There was a bill in the Georgia legislature this past year
still not supposed to be.
to.
That's what he's working on.
There was a bill in the Georgia legislature this past year to create a nonpartisan panel to draw the lines. It didn't go anywhere. So, and elections are done by the states.
Yeah, I think
So-
a lot of people don't realize that,
Yeah.
that your districts are not controlled at the federal level. It is solely here at the state level. And if you want that change, you gotta sit on top of your state legislature. Because
Right. Exactly
They
right.
go in at the last minute and decide, oh, well, this person that might run against me lives on this street, so I'll swap that with yours. I mean,
And it's not right that
the legislature draws the line. It doesn't.
it's not right that legislature draws the lines, and it's not right that politicians pick their voters instead of voters picking their legislators. That's not right, but that's what we have. But that's control at the state level. So get on with your state representative, your state senator, find out about that bill, see if it can be revived in next year. We're still in the same session, so maybe it can be revived if we get some heat on it, some people wanting to push it through. But I agree completely, 100%.
So I just wanted to say something about that and about the lack of turnout. I'm relatively new to Georgia, I've only been here 2 years, but I always make it a point to make sure that I'm registered wherever I live, because I've been brought up to pay attention to politics. What I've noticed in Georgia and some other states is that the government doesn't want people to know who the elections are.
Yeah.
The local government does not want people voting, and we need to change that, because if people had known, I went to vote and they're like, oh, I didn't know there was an election today. I was like, really, you live here? I just moved here, you didn't know. They don't know. And there's gotta be a better way to educate people. If the state's not gonna do it, someone has to.
I will say,
Primary in July when
Right.
everyone's on
When
vacation.
nobody's here.
right,
Right.
yeah, and the county commission, the votes for the county commission in local elections. Yeah, I agree.
By the way, the gerrymandering bill is HB 515, State House District.
Oh,
Okay, so
and if
we
I could
need to
add,
look at those bills too, so we know
if they
Yeah.
wanted,
HB, for those who didn't hear it, HB 515.
Yes, and it was tabled in March.
Well, yeah, because everybody wants to be able to draw their district.
Yeah, so sign and die has already passed, so we'll have to wait until the next.
Right. So, but it can be revived in the next year.
Yes.
It's not dead. It can be revived. Yeah.
okay, just to for one, if y'all want to text the resist to the phone number 50409, it'll walk you through, and then you can put your zip code, and you can send a fax to your representative or senator via text. And then it'll send you a picture of your fax to the representative. I just want to ask first off, does everybody know, and I'm assuming we're all Democrat or left-leaning in the room, I'm assuming. So,
For the most part.
For the most part. I haven't heard any Trump yet, so I'm assuming we're all friendly. Does everyone here know who their county Democratic committee chair is, by any chance? My name is Galen Jacobs. I'm 30 years old, and I'm the chair of Monroe County Democratic Committee. And it started out with him, as a matter of fact. Because I started out a group because I got tired of being barraged and attacked for being outspoken and unapologetic liberal. And so I started up a little Facebook-friendly group where we can chit-chat and talk to each other. And he and Sarah Todd, the vice chair of county affairs, said, Galen, I need you to call me immediately. And I was thinking, oh my God, I did something wrong. What did I ever stepped on somebody's toes? And I'm like, you don't have a committee in your county. I said, well, sure, we do. No, you don't have one. Do you want one? Well, if there's a ball on the field, then we need to pick it up and run with it. But what I'm getting at is we put too much weight on federal and state level representatives and senators. The power is in your community, is in your county. We had a county commissioner, we have the Indivisible group that asked about a permit to demand Trump's tax returns. And he said, I think that these people that destroy property are horrible. What we should do, and I quote, is get a submachine gun and mow them all down. I've got the videotape. That's coming up next year. Don't worry about that. But you've got to be a strong liberal. I'm sick of apologizing.
Yeah.
You're not the party of morals. You're not the party of Christianity and what that religion stands for. Stop acting like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize for you stand in your truth and you stand strong. And that's everything that I've known Fred to be. And I'm being as legitimately truth. He knows I don't sugarcoat crap. If you don't want the answer, don't ask me the question. It's a pretty simple solution to the problem. But there's two things I would like to ask you, sir.
Okay.
One, I would like to know where you stand on Black Lives Matter.
Okay, Black Lives Matter.
And
I mean, that's the answer.
we need to hear you say it. And
I know, say their name.
we need to see your birth certificate to certify that you're born here. And
I'm pretty sure I know what that is.
but we've talked a lot, and I've got to know him really well on a personal level. What got you into politics to begin with? I know for me, it's sick of the status quo and accepting that this is the way that things are going to be. This is how we're going to operate. What got you to want to be the 8th chair? Because I know it's way more than ever. You can have that one.
It's just, I've always kind of been interested in politics. And so I wanted to find out more. And actually, the Big County Democratic Party used to have these social gatherings that weren't county committee business. And I saw about them, I think, on Facebook. And I was like, oh, I want to go check that out. I started going to it. And Steve Allen, who was the chair at the time, noticed me coming to these events. And I was just hanging out. I was having an hors d'oeuvre,
Don't do
having a
that.
glass
You're
of
gonna
wine.
get sucked in.
That's exactly correct. If you don't want to be active, don't come to events. Please come to events.
We need you. Please
We need you,
come.
please. Don't listen to them. But seriously, he was like, we're about to have elections. Do you want to be a part of our party? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Sounds fine. So they had elections. I stood for one of the chairs, and they elected me to one of the post seats. And from there, I got involved in the executive committee. And from there, there was a couple of years later, a seat came open to the state committee. The state committee, the state committee for the Democrats, the committee is made up of seats from the county. So each county has a certain number of seats. and currently Bibb County has 4 because of its population. And one of them came open, and so we had an election. I was like, I'd like to try for that. Why not? That sounds neat. And I got elected. I got involved in the state party as a committee member. And then our 8th congressional chair at the time decided she was going to run. I did that for a couple of years. Then our chair decided she was going to run for the state party treasurer. So she left her seat, and I was like, I'd like to give that a shot. And so I ran, and I was elected to that. And that's just kind of how it went. And that's kind of how it went for me this entire time. I know some people, it's getting kind of late. I'll continue going as long as people will go, but I want to mention one thing real quick. If you want to keep up with my campaign, please sign in at the back. I want to make certain that if you like what you hear, you have a chance to sign in. If you don't want to sign in, I haven't trapped you by having you sign in as you come in. This is your opportunity to back out now. But if you want to hear more, please give me your information. I'll make sure and keep you up to date. And also grab a card with the Facebook information and the crowd pack information. But yeah, so that's how I got involved. It's just they suck you in, and they keep drawing you in further and further and further. The more you will give, the more that politics will take. And I want to give, and so they'll keep on taking. So
And to add to that, speaking to a lot of different counties and stuff, with me being young, I'm pretty Facebook fluent and social media. I even found an app where I can change our party's Facebook on my phone while I'm at work. I'm like, oh, I forgot that. I updated our calendar. Or here's a Google Map link so you can tell where we're meeting at or whatever. But that's besides the point. But the counties need you, like legitimately. Like I have 2 post seats that you can officially join the committee that I can't fill. I can't find anybody.
Bibb County's the same way. Bibb County's the same way. All their post seats are not full right now. Their chair's name is Harold Franklin, and if you are interested in being a part of the party, they do still have some availability there as well.
And if you're in Monroe and you want to join, feel free to come tackle me.
They filled a couple of seats at the meeting this week.
Yeah, but they're not. They're still not.
You don't have to be in a post seat to be active in the party.
Right.
That's true. That's correct. Yeah. Go to meetings. Find out when the meetings are. Bibb County meets the first Monday of every month, and if you want to get involved, you can just show up. I encourage people to get involved in the Democratic Party. That there again, if you are a liberal-leaning person but who does not like the party structure, by all means, there are other groups that you can be a part of as well. You can also. I will take all those votes if they want to vote for me and follow my Facebook page. I'll take people of any party. I don't care who you are, as long as if you agree with me and want to see me succeed, But yeah.
Because I just don't know about this. You and Galen seem to know a lot about it, but in terms of the gerrymandering, we know that at least I've read. I'm not Georgia native, so I won't claim to be an expert, but the 6th district is really gerrymandered for race.
Yes.
Are we? Is the 8th?
Yes.
Are we similar? Like, is it as bad or?
Making split in half.
We are making a split in half. That's one of the things you can know is that the 8th district covers Monroe and Jones County in the north, comes down to Bibb, takes just north Bibb because it wants those Republicans.
How convenient.
Comes around, grabs Houston and
It was
South.
specifically written for Austin Scott.
It was specifically written for Austin
It was
Scott.
tailor-made for Austin Scott.
Which is why he doesn't do these things. People keep saying he doesn't do these things because he doesn't want to talk to people. He doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. He is the participation trophy candidate.
So every 10 years, the districts are redrawn. So in 2010, when the Tea Party was, sweeping across the country, they won all those seats, and they were able to redraw all those maps.
So he
because they
won.
had power.
He won a
But
somewhat more competitive
Republicans
district.
had already taken over the governor's house
Right.
here, so they were already
They were
tweaking
ready,
because
yeah.
they were tweaking Marshall's district
Right.
and John Barrow, and I'm
Yes.
trying to think of the other guy. I mean, they managed to get rid of the intelligent congressman we had in the state in Washington.
But one of the things that bears I should tell people is that I've thought about doing this for a few months, and ever since I saw this surge of people, and that gave me hope that we would see a blue wave come through after we all had the sad moment in November of 2016. But I've reached out to a few professional political operatives who who run campaigns for a living, and some of them told me straight up, don't do it, don't run. Not because they didn't believe in me, they liked me. They were just like, don't do it. The district's too red, it's too difficult. Don't do it, because when you run, your people will see you. If you lose, people will see you as a loser. So don't do it. I'm giving you a little bit of inside baseball on this one, just so I can show you where I am. People told me don't run, not because they don't believe in me, but because they don't believe in the district. And honestly, I just think the district's a little different than everybody thinks it is. We just haven't given them a fight in such a long time with some real progressive values that everybody, working man, values, and anybody who cashes a paycheck can get behind, or anybody who runs a business with just a handful of employees. That's what I believe in. That's the party I believe in.
Hell, I'm a truck driver. I think it's.
Right.
I mean, that's what the party is.
Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago, you may not have heard of the name Emmanuel Macron. He didn't even have a party. He was neither. Okay, I don't want to get into that detail. En Marche, his party was created only a year ago. He's today the French president. So I will encourage you, don't listen to those people who say
and that's because he rode a race of a tide of people who were tired of the two parties that had been representing them. And so if you'll notice, I think the people who ended up, the two parties who were normally in power in France, ended up being third and fifth in the presidential election. And so I think there is an appetite out there for something a little different. I don't want to. I'm a Democrat. I believe in Democratic principles and values. So people were just like, I don't like Democrats, so I don't like you. I get it. But if people want a Democrat who's a little different, then I'm your man.
There is a change in the wind.
Yes.
So one of the things, because I live in Houston County, how has the Republican Party appropriated military and veterans? I mean, they don't really stand up for them. So it's like, I think maybe
Because we have equated military spending with being pro-military and being pro-military families somehow, and being patriotic and pro-defense.
They appropriated God and patriotism. They wrapped themselves in the flag and held on to the
He
Bible.
goes back to the Cold War.
Well, let me just say something on defense real quick. I'm not going to be someone who's going to be slashing the spending a lot. I don't believe we can do that in our community. My district has 2 Air Force bases, and it's adjacent to a Marine depot. So, but we need to make sure that our military spending is smart. It should be directed by the generals and not by the military contractors. Hey, we got a new airplane we can build in your district if you'll just go ahead and vote on it. But the generals are like, that thing's a piece of garbage and we don't want it. But you want it. We're gonna build it. You're gonna get it. Come on, you'll get it. And that's what it becomes. We need to be smart about how we're doing that military spending. And that's the thing that we've not been asking of our representatives. But more importantly, we're spending so much on the military, we're spending so much on defense and on hardware. What about our families? What about our military families? What about the military families who don't make even enough to get by? What about our veterans who have to wait in line in order to get the medical care we promised them? Or to get the benefits we promised them? Why isn't that a higher priority? Why isn't that the number one thing? I mean, seriously, I'll cut some spending somewhere else if I can increase spending on veterans. Veterans, we made a promise to them And I don't think we keep it like we should. I know we don't. And that is an pox on both their houses. Both parties need to do a better job on that. I believe in that very fervently.
Fred, I think we're hemorrhaging people.
Yeah, I think we're starting to end here, so.
You deserve a round of applause, so I want to make sure you get it.
So I'm going to close this out because people are beginning to peel out, which that's what I said, as long as people ask questions. But I'm going to stick around once I adjourn, if anybody wants to talk to me one-on-one about anything. But just please sign up in the back if you're interested in continuing to find out about the campaign. I have my campaign Facebook page. If you are able to pledge, please make a pledge at my crowd pack. Please tell other people about this campaign, about what it's about. That is the only way we're going to get any traction. I don't have a staff. So if people send me messages on my Facebook page, right now, I'm answering them. And I think I'm getting pretty good. I think I've got a reputation on Facebook for he answers within a day. So I try to answer. I answer messages. If you see something on there, I wrote it. If you see a message, I'm replying to it. I don't have a staff yet. Because again, I'm begging for money. I don't have any money. So this is grassroots. This is my wife staying up all night making these signs. This is my friends volunteering to videotape this and volunteering to hand out the mic for me. This is what this is. So by all means, please sign up. Please pledge if you're able to. Thank you.
Thank you.